Introduce yourself. What are some of your accomplishments in sailing, and what do you sail now?
I'm Dawn Riley. I'm the Executive Director of Oakcliff Sailing. I have done 4 America's Cups, 2 round the world races, won a few world championships, and have been sailing professionally for 41 years.
My name's JJ Klempin. I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm 15 years old. I've gone to 2 Optimist World Championships, 1 29er World Championship, and I sail 49er FX.
My name is Jack McKenzie. I'm 17 from Charleston, South Carolina. Been sailing for about 10 years. Sailed in a couple classes. Recently started sailing the 49er FX, and me and JJ actually recently placed top 3 in stage 1 and 2 of the Triple Crown here at Oakcliff.
What are some common misconceptions people have about the sport?
I think that people inside the sport and outside the sport, it takes a while before they realize that they're truly athletes. Today with foiling, it's a little bit more known that you're kind of out there on the edge, kind of the X game type thing. But people forget that as a sailor, you're really an athlete. Not positive why I'm obsessed with it, but I think a little bit of it was I started sailing early with our family. I discovered racing when I was 13, and then shortly thereafter people told me that girls could not do it, and I said, yeah, watch me. So I think I'm a little bit uber competitive, and that's bode me well in the sport.
Some things I love about the sport of sailing would have to be the speeds, the technicality, the physicalness, and agility for sure. One of my favorite feelings in sailing is definitely just ripping downwind on the skiffs, especially the FX. Fully in the foot straps, almost flat wiring, just knowing you're right on the edge at any moment. Wave could just take you out. But if you stay up on it, it's the best feeling in the world.
Explain high-level sailing from your point of view.
So the America's Cup and the Around the World are 2 of the pinnacles of the sport, as well as the Olympics. And I think the thing that I enjoy the most and the thing that's just amazing is the America's Cup, because you're always coming in, you're doing a startup company, you're doing design, you're doing building, you're trying to budget, you're dealing with personnel. It's like the most intense, all-encompassing business and sport all together.
I describe high performance sailing as extreme sport. It's a huge adrenaline rush, really physical, especially in the skiffs and the NACRA, the foiling cats. It's super mental as well, really tactical. It's happening at really fast pace, so you don't have as much time to think about some of the tactical decisions that you do on other boats. I've heard it described as CrossFit with a water hose in your face many times by my coach.
Do you agree that sailing is one of the hardest sports in the world, and why?
Sailing is one of the most complicated sports. The cool part is it also gives you the longest time to figure it out. So a true Olympian and a true champion sailor does not have to be 15 years old. It's not like they're washed up when they're 20, like maybe a swimmer often is. It's something that's lifelong. You're always learning, and it's you against other people, you against design, you against decision making, and of course you against the elements.
I don't think there's any other sport that is as weather dependent as sailing. You got waves, current, wind, which is also all dependent on the temperature. I mean, you gotta know a lot more in the back of your head, like a lot of knowledge on hand for tactical decisions, especially like which side of the course you're gonna pick, depending on wind. But if there's more wind on that side, more current on one side, super tactical, and that's all at going, really fast speeds.
Yeah, and again, as I said before, when that wind line changes or the current changes, you have to be able to adapt to that as soon as you can or immediately to try to catch up to the other boats or even stay in that placement that you are in.
You can't afford to not be at peak condition, especially when you're out there on one of the skiffs or the NACRA and over like 15 knots, the amount of muscle strain you're taking on out there, especially if it's a little bit wavy, a little bit of chop. Yeah, we also put in a lot of hours behind the scene, a lot of working out, a lot of mental training. When you're making decisions at this high of a speed, it's gotta be an extreme sport. There's no way it's not.
I like the speed. I like surfing waves on downwind and knowing that I'm over the water on the trapeze.
I love it because there are so many competitive fleets in the sport, a lot of fast fleets, especially with the new foiling technologies that are coming into a lot of more affordable classes that have been able to sail recently. And I just love the general adrenaline rush of sailing.
What are your sailing goals for the future?
I'm not sure if I have sailing goals for the future. Every time I go out on a race, I really enjoy it. What I'm doing here at Oakcliff is I'm coaching and giving my so-called expertise to the younger generation, and that really is fulfilling, and I enjoy it. But you put me on the start line, and I'm going to be competitive.
My main sailing goal for the future would be to run a successful Olympic campaign with JJ here, going to the 2028 Olympics in LA, and then after that, definitely want to think about getting into some of the pro circuits, maybe match racing, or I like the look of the new Sail GP. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, or some M32 sailing.
Definitely.
And what would you say to someone who's just getting into sailing?
I think the biggest thing in the sport of sailing is that you need to understand you can control what you can control. You do every single bit of that as best you can, and then you let it fall where it falls. And the next time you go out, you'll get a little bit more luck, but it's not really luck. It's doing what you can the best, and then you just keep going. It's addictive.
Awesome.
I would say throughout all the ups and downs, just commit. And you're gonna go through some hard times in sailing. It's gonna be rough, but eventually you'll get the hang of it and you'll be doing good and accomplish your goals.
Yeah, it's a super fun sport. I'd say definitely stick with it. It can be discouraging sometimes, especially at local sailing centers. Like if you're like a person like me, you don't like going slow, but it's definitely necessary when you start out in boats like the Opti 420. It's gonna give you those tactical skills that you need, and then you can move up to more fun boats like the Skiff or the Nacra. So definitely stick with it, even though you feel like you're getting burnt out at times, and take advantage of all your opportunities.
Cast me out, drug me through hell. Devil's ashes live under my nails. Where's the heart? Belief in humanity. Ask for a drink. Strangers look down.